So what steps did I take to pass the NCLEX on my first try?
I'm ready.
No, you ain't!
What's good, YouTube? It's NWA here, Nurse Pat. If you've been watching me for a minute, I know y'all ready for this heat. Now, I know it's been a minute since I passed my NCLEX, since I've been working for 3 years already. However, I have been getting tons of questions from people asking me to touch up on the subject. So it's kind of that time of year again where students have either taken their NCLEX or they're preparing for the NCLEX because they graduated over the summer. The big bad NCLEX, huh? So in this video, I'm going to touch up on these things. 1, my journey with how long I prepared and studied for the exam. 2, what resources that I used to prepare for the exam. 3, what kind of emotions and mindset did I have. And 4, some random bonus tips for test taking. I studied roughly around 2 months before taking my exam. I personally don't believe in cramming for studying. I remember best with consistency. I even remember seeing a study in the past where Group A crammed just 1 8-hour day of studying, and Group B, they had 1 hour of studying over 8 days. Group B retained more information. That's all facts, no printer. I didn't overdo my daily study sessions because I didn't want to get burned out. I mainly just did 50 to 100 practice questions per day, and if I had more time, I would watch YouTube videos here and there. Also, during some of the days where I was doing chores, running errands, walking on a treadmill, etc., I would listen on my earphones, watching YouTube videos on nursing concepts, or my voice recordings and my notes. You can refer to my old video on the strategy that I've used. The last 2 weeks heading up to the exam, I basically went hard and I studied more. Some of the days, it would be dedicated study days. Literally eat, study, sleep. That's it. Oh, and coffee, of course. Can't forget the coffee. Coffee in my veins. Lame.
You wake up, it's time for coffee. Take a shower, it's time for coffee. Go to work, it's time for coffee.
One of my cousins advised me for the day before the exam just to relax and chill. Don't worry about cramming, don't worry about last minute studying. I took that advice. He told me to get a massage. I did. I had a really nice hot stone massage. If y'all never had one, y'all missing out. Y'all sleeping on it because it just feels amazing. It felt nice just to relax. So, what study resources did I use? Like most people nowadays, I'm sure you may have heard of UWorld. If you don't know UWorld, it's basically a big, gigantic bank of study questions. I think it was like 2,000 questions or something like that. And they really give amazing rationales as well as illustrations. And I like those pictures because personally I'm a visual learner. Now, looking at their website, they did raise the price, unfortunately, but you know, it's worth it in my opinion. The prices vary upon days of usage. So if you really wanted to study it out just for 1 month, it is slightly cheaper. That's all up to you. So I also looked up a bunch of YouTube videos on nursing concepts, diseases, as well as pharmacology. I remember good nursing channels like Khan Academy, Registered Nurse, Simple Nursing, etc. You guys could honestly just search these up. I also had this one study guidebook. I honestly forgot what it was called because I didn't really use it much at all. UWorld and YouTube was honestly all I really needed. There's also other resources some people use like Kaplan courses, but honestly, you know, it's a little steep, I'm not gonna lie. For a broke little college boy, that wasn't for me, but it may be helpful for you. So now, what kind of mindset and emotions did I go through? Starting off, like most people, there's a lot of stress and anxiety because I felt like there's so many things in nursing and I forgot a ton of things. Doing the UWorld question starting off, I was getting really bad scores. I was like, I think like 50% for my practice questions. It was just very, very discouraging. Literally getting my ass kicked. Later on, I found out that UWorld questions were actually harder than the NCLEX, so...
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
No, Patrick.
As I kept going, my UWorld scores were gradually increasing and increasing. I basically learned from my mistakes, I read the rationales, and really understood them. I never felt prepared enough for the exam, no matter how much I studied. And pretty much everyone will feel that way. Sometimes people will just put off their exam, reschedule it on and on and on because they don't feel prepared. But you just gotta shoot your shot, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta. You can do it! Totally natural and common, don't worry. In order to succeed, you need to be motivated and consistent. You cannot give up. You gotta stay hungry. How bad do you want it?
This is a load of barnacles.
I heard that!
sorry, but the harsh truth is, with most things in life, if you want to accomplish something and you're not hungry enough, maybe you don't deserve it. Some people have to work harder to accomplish their goals. So what do? You work harder than them. Personally, I don't think I'm incredibly smart. I simply put the time and effort to study to get where I'm at. Make sure you have the right support group, having positive friends, family, significant others, etc. Dogs, cats, it'll keep you going.
I don't have friends, I got family.
Now enough of that rant. Here are some helpful tips for NCLEX test taking. Now some of these you may or may not have heard or learned throughout your nursing program when you're taking your exams. However, they should be taken lightly. Number 1, really read the question and truly understand what the question is asking you. If you're overthinking things, you'll just be caught in a loop, thinking over and over, oh, what if this, what if that? There's no what ifs, it's whatever's in the prompt. What is the stem, and what are the keywords in the question? 2, for a multiple choice question, obviously begin by eliminating the answers that are obviously wrong. If 2 answers are practically the same thing, most likely they're both wrong. If 2 answers are exact opposite, most likely one of those is the correct answer. Now, sometimes you're stuck between 2 answers, and sometimes both of them are technically correct. One of them is the best answer.
NANI?
I know. I hate that shit too. I really do. But you just gotta think of it carefully and move on. Now 3, your favorite. Select all that apply. These will always at least have 2 answers, so don't just put 1. Now instead of looking at all the answers and being all overwhelmed, cover up all the answers and literally go through them one by one, piecemeal. So look at the question and look at the answers one at a time, see if each one fits, and go from it like there. If you think of it as like a multi-part question rather than like one gigantic question, then it comes a little bit less overwhelming. 4, for medications, really focus on your prefixes and suffixes. This will go a very long way. For example, awhile as a suffix for beta blockers, pine as a suffix for calcium channel blockers, krill as a suffix for ACE inhibitors, nab and mab as a suffix for immunosuppressants, etc. You can literally go on and on. So you'll see this like random ass medication that you've never heard of.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
But if you see those key prefixes and suffixes, you'll be able to identify it and know what it does. You can spray paint a turd gold. Ooh, fancy. Bruh, it's still a turd. Now I could provide tips like these on and on, but it would just make the video way too long. If you guys are studying for the NCLEX or taking it soon, I know you guys got this. Don't worry, anxiety is a common thing. You're always gonna feel it coming up to the day of the exam, but you got this. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments below, or hit me up on IG. Comment, like, and subscribe if you're feeling the content. And as always, stay safe, stay humble. I'm out.